Hey y'all, what's good, beautiful people? It's your girl Tay, and I'm here yet again with another update video. So definitely make sure you guys smash that like button, comment down below, subscribe, plus push your post notification bell button so that way anytime I upload any type of video, you will be notified. All right, you guys, we are literally jumping into it. I always say that, but today we actually are going to do it. So I found this article actually, I'm not find this article. I want to say a couple of days ago, but I wanted to save it for today. It's basically another state, or not really another state, but another area in the United States has decided to give $2,000 stimulus checks to their residents or whatever. So I wanted to basically share this information with you guys. Let me find it. Hold on. Okay, so it says the Navajo Council has voted to send checks worth up to $2,000 to eligible adults and $600 for each child Wednesday, and I'm assuming by Wednesday they mean tomorrow. This article actually was published on January the 1st, which was New Year's Day. It says the money comes from $557 million in federal pandemic relief funds. Okay, the Navajo Nation President Jonathan Nez approved the vote, ensuring checks for approximately 350,000 tribal members. Okay, Nez has approved rounds of relief checks in the past using money from federal relief funds. It has been over 8 months since President Joe Biden signed into law the American Rescue Plan Act, and our Navajo people should not suffer another day without knowing how their government will assist them as they suffer from grief, mental health, and financial hardship, said Council Delegate Amber Kanazaba Crotty. I hope I said her name right. I do apologize if I did not. A second allocation of hardship assistance payments of $2,000 per adult and $600 per child will allow our relatives to purchase essential winter supplies like gasoline, firewood, and food now. The 18-2 vote took place on Wednesday during a special session of the tribe's lawmaking body. It will tap some of the roughly $2.1 billion the tribe is getting from President Joe Biden's American Rescue Plan Act. Around 7,500 checks had not been claimed in the first round of the Navajo Nation Cares Fund Hardship Assistance Program. Okay, this is also coming from Nez, who released this in a statement recently. Okay, the program was created to help the tribal members impacted financially by the pandemic. Okay, unclaimed checks may be due to change or unclaimed checks may be due to a change or error with a mailing address, an incomplete application, or other issues. Okay, in accordance with the federal requirements, all CARES Act dollars must be spent or obligated by the end of the calendar year. Okay, so basically they're trying to encourage people. If you know anybody who are a part of the Navajo Nation, please let them know that there is funding available. Let me go back up to the name of this. The Navajo Nation Cares Fund Hardship Assistance Program. So there should be an application. I'm not sure if it's available online or if it's something that you would have to make an appointment for. But if you put that into your search bar, you should be able to find some additional information regarding that. So I always like to, put information out there regardless of what group of people is for. I believe that we all are suffering right now. Nobody is exempt from feeling the effects of the unfortunate pandemic. We are all suffering. Okay, I just had to say that because I know how some of you guys are. Not some of my faithful. Some of you guys are a lot open, very open, like I am. But then there's a couple of trolls that just come scrolling through and wants to complain about who's getting benefits, and all of that to me is just you complaining because maybe you're not getting the benefits, so you feel some type of way, and I just don't think that's very inhumane of you, is what I'm trying to say. Moving on from that, we are going to head over to, nope, that ain't what we're heading over to. We're going to head over to my other source that I just passed, and now I can't find it, to take a look at what's going on in other news. Okay, so first thing that comes up, this is for LA schools. Students, staff must show a negative test to return from break. Now, there's a lot of back and forth going on in the news from various states across the United States of America, where some are still pushing for in-person learning, and then other are not so much. They're saying, hey, you know what, maybe we want to hold off from bringing the kids back from winter break, because obviously cases are rising. January 4th, which is today, the Los Angeles Unified School District has announced that regardless of vaccination status, students and staff will have to show a negative test before returning to classes when they resume from winter break next week. Okay, the second largest school district in the nation announced the updated guidelines Monday as health officials in the county battle a surge in cases due to the Omicron variant. Keeping our schools safe is a top priority from Los Angeles Unified, the district said. As a united Los Angeles Unified community, we will work together to ensure the safety of our students. The district also pushed back the start of the spring semester for all K-12 students to January 11th, while designating January the 10th as a pupil-free day for school site employees. Honestly, even before the pandemic, I know they're calling it pupil-free day, but have you guys noticed, like in your school districts or whatever, they have a lot of these extra pupil-free days, or they have a lot of what they call furlough days, where the kids are not in school? I don't remember having half as many pupil-free days or furlough days when I was in school. I feel like I was in school all the time, and the only time you saw a significant break was for winter break and summer break. But like even for Thanksgiving, we never got a week out, or at least not the schools that I went to. I didn't get a week out of school. I got, it's always on the fourth Thursday of the month for Thanksgiving. So we would get that Thursday and that Friday off. You know what I mean? Maybe the Wednesday, but for the most part, it was just that Thursday, Friday, and then we were right back to school on Monday. Whereas now, being a parent and I'm, seeing how often my kids are out of school, it's like now they get a week out for Thanksgiving break in some cases. Some schools still do, just 2 or 3 days, but for the most part, I just feel like the kids are at home a lot more anyway. Starting Monday, it said students and staff will be able to get a baseline test that the results of the external PCR antigen or at-home test must be uploaded to the student's daily pass account no later than Sunday. Weekly testing will continue for all students and employees through the month, while masking will be required at all times, indoors and out, it said. The announcement was made amid surging cases in Los Angeles County, with the public health department stating that the virus cases among children have increased to 207% from the 2-week period starting back November 8th of last year and the 2-week period ending December the 26th of 2021. The county health department said to aid schools with testing capabilities, it will distribute at-home test kits to LA County 1.4 million school-age students. So it just goes on and on and on to talk about all the things that they're trying to do to make sure that the staff and the students are safe. Moving on from that, another one also talking about what's going on with the school system. It says some school systems around the U.S. extended their holiday break Monday or switched back to online instruction because of the explosion in the virus cases, while others pressed ahead with in-person classes amid a seemingly growing sense that Americans will have to learn to coexist with the virus. Y'all let me know how you feel about that. So in this particular case, like I said, well, not this particular case, but just in general, they're making it very general. I'm going to get into some of the states a little bit later in this article, but they're making it very general. Some feel like we're going to have to this is the new norm now. And honestly, I feel like that too. This is going to be the new norm. It doesn't matter whether we're dealing with this virus or whether we're dealing with something else. I think the reality is that, there's a big shift in the world. Some of you guys may be aware of it or feeling it. Some of you guys maybe not so much. Okay. But I do think that this is going to be the new norm. I don't ever think that we're going to go back to not wearing masks and everyone not being fearful of disease and viruses and stuff. That's pretty, you know what I'm saying? For America specifically, I've never lived anywhere else, so I can't really talk about everywhere else, but I feel like specifically for America, there's already an underlying fear of things that we don't know, things that people don't know, or they just don't want to know about. Okay. So all this did was just bring that stuff to the surface. That's just my opinion. Caught between pleas from teachers fearful of infection and parents who want their children in class, school districts in cities such as New York, Milwaukee, Chicago, Detroit, and beyond found themselves in a difficult position midway through the academic year because of the super contagious Omicron variant. New York City, home of the nation's largest school system, reopened classrooms to roughly 1 million students with a stockpile of take-home virus test kits and plans to double the number of random tests done in school. So again, y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. Honestly, I wouldn't mind having my children home. I'm already, you know what I mean? I'm trying to figure out a work at home situation for me. I'm going to start posting jobs that I find as well on here for you guys, telling you guys about them, so that for those of you guys who are having a hard time finding childcare or anything like that, or if maybe you just want to work from home just for safety reasons of yourself and you don't have any children, I do want to start providing some of that information for you guys as well, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find a job working at home. But to be perfectly honest, and I've said this to you guys before, for my children, I really do feel like the best thing is for them to stay home. Now, I do understand that kids like to be social. Kids need to be social and all of that, but I'd rather have them safe than social. My kids get pretty much a lot of social time. I don't know how it is over there, but they get a lot of social time when they're over here with me, because there is, I want to say there is upwards of 40, 50 kids that live in this particular complex. And you know what I'm saying? So they get their social time nonetheless. I always tell my children, you know, you better pick up that phone, have a conversation. You know what I mean? Who knows where this is going to take us? It may get to the point where that's the only way we can communicate with our friends and family members, even for us adults, is to talk to them on a device, because things are getting out of hand. But anyways, we're going to keep our schools open and ensure that our children are safe in a safe environment. Okay, this came from the new mayor, Eric Adams. Okay, I did see something where an article speaking about this particular mayor and how he said that he wanted to keep in-person learning. Okay, I do get that for the children. I'm not gonna lie, when you think about me, I'm just saying for me, I have been doing, my one daughter, she has been doing independent studies since everything began. And even when they opened up schools, I told you guys, I was very open. I said, she's not going to go back. She already has underlying health conditions. You know, she has really bad asthma. And when I say really bad, I mean like really bad asthma, to where they would call me several times a week before we got her asthma under control, saying that she had just passed out. She was just laid out somewhere. And that was just from running. I mean, she has so many triggers. She has so many triggers that we still haven't, how do I say, we still haven't discovered. Okay, she can't eat cold things. Cold things will send her asthma. It doesn't matter what it is, if it's milk, if it's dairy, if it's non-dairy, it doesn't matter. Super cold things will send her into an asthma attack. Too much running around will send her into an asthma attack. So for a person who's that sensitive, the possibility of her catching something like this, I just felt like she'd be the one child out of many that would probably have a very worse, you know, a severe case of the virus, and I just wasn't willing to take that chance. However, I do understand from an academic standpoint that it probably is in her best interest to go to school and get more of the in-person normal way of learning in order for her to further her education. With that being said, though, I mean, I value her life over her education. And that's not to say that education isn't important. I do think that her education is important, but some form of education and having her be safe is more important to me than having her go to school and expose when she's already sensitive. Her immune system is already more sensitive, just for her to get the in-person experience, if that makes any sense. Hopefully things get better and she can go back, you know what I'm saying? But for right now, she's still pretty young. She still freaks out whenever she has an asthma attack. It really freaks her out. I mean, you guys don't know. I've had to take her to the hospital. They give her treatment. The treatment is not working there in the hospital. Then they have to give her some more hardcore drugs. We literally have to strap her down because they're jabbing her in her butt with needles and stuff. Like, I don't want to put her through that type of stuff. I'd rather just keep her home. You know what I mean? Sorry, I was a little bit graphic with that, but that's how serious it is for that child. So that's why she's at home. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about in-person learning and staying at home. I know there's quite a few of you last year who were saying that you're doing independent study or doing online study, but you know, it is what it is. Moving on from that. Still talking about what's going on with the schools. So it says, California lawmakers may stop tying K through 12 school funding to daily attendance. So if you didn't know, the schools, at least out here in California, I'm pretty sure it's like that across the board, across the USA, they tie funding for school supplies, paying the teachers and all that stuff to daily attendance. It says, after decades of linking K through 12 school funding to daily student attendance, California lawmakers are poised to consider abolishing the standard, choosing instead a new method that could provide a significant boost to big districts such as Los Angeles Unified. Okay, State Senator Anthony Portantino, maybe it's Spanish, Portantino, I don't know if I said that right, will introduce legislation on Monday that would tie education funding to annual enrollment rather than average daily attendance records. The move could bring an additional $3 billion in annual state funding for schools. This also coming from the state Senate. Okay, California has long funded its 1,000 plus school districts based on how often students show up to class instead of the total head count of those enrolled, which I think is ridiculous because you should do it off of the total head count, those who are enrolled code. And I think that there just needs to be some more stricter standards with that. You know what I mean? Obviously, if your kid is missing a significant amount of days in school, you get sent out letters and things of that nature to let you know that they've noticed it. Maybe you guys should just crack down on that and say, hey, we haven't seen your kid. So if they're not at home sick and you can't bring in documentation for that, then you unenroll that student to make room for another one, if that makes sense. That's definitely what I would do. Big supporters of the new bill, including the Los Angeles Unified School District, say that an enrollment-based policy is less volatile and will allow schools to tap into more money and better plan for spending to address absentee concerns. Portantino's proposal requires that at least half of any new funds schools receive under the new policy be put toward combating chronic absenteeism and truancy, like I just said. This should not be seen at all as an effort to devalue getting kids in class, okay? That's a red herring argument. 12% of California's 6 million plus K through 12 students were marked chronically absent in year 2018 through 19, meaning they missed at least 10% of the school year. And this is obviously before the pandemic. So that's a parent thing. That is a guardian thing. That is whoever is taking care of these children's thing. If you have enrolled your children into school, then I think that they need to be going to school every day. There's really no excuses about that unless there is a family emergency or something that truly prohibits them from being able to make it to class. There's no reason why any child should be missing 10% of their school year, okay? And that's more so than them, in my opinion, learning at home, doing an independent study will affect their grades and their ability to absorb the information because they're missing out, okay? I think that's just common sense. The chronic absenteeism, wait, hold up. Make sure I read this right. The chronic absenteeism rate for Black students was more than double than of white students. I don't know why that was important, but this is a public service announcement to my people of color. If you ain't taking your kids to school for no good reason at all, shame on you. Them kids need to be in school. Again, I don't care if they're doing it from home. I don't care if they're doing it in person. It doesn't matter. There are plenty of options out there. You just have to do a little bit of legwork, and I'm not ashamed to admit that there are quite a few people. I'm not going to say specific to one ethnicity, but there are quite a few people in the world that are just lazy, just don't value education for themselves. And of course, if they don't value it for themselves, they're not going to value it for their children. Okay. And that's something that we need to work on as a people. Again, that's not specific to a certain ethnic background. That's just across the board. Okay. I think that we've pretty much got the gist of this article, but moving on as always, because I know what y'all want to know about. I didn't see any changes. I'm going to check again. I always check. I check in the morning before I get on here, but I'm going to check again with you guys because I like to stay up to date as much as possible. Things can change even after I post a video. I did see in the comments, which I think I'm going to go there instead because I don't see anything. I'm looking at emergency SNAP maximum benefits for the month of January of this year, and I don't see any additional states that have been added to this list. I'm going to go to the comment section of my previous videos. I know that there were a couple of you guys that saying that Texas received their benefits for January. I know generally Texas will start between the 4th and the 7th of the month, but then they'll always release a statement saying give it all the way up until the end of the month when it pertains to emergency SNAP maximum benefits. So if you are in Texas, just go ahead and check your check your check your cards. In every state that has not been mentioned in yesterday's video, you want to go ahead and just check your cards, make sure that the benefits have not been deposited on there, okay? Because I've told you guys this several times. Sometimes the information just does not update as quickly as we would like it to on the U.S. Department of Agriculture. I'm going to do a little bit more research, but let me go down and see if I can give you guys the information for emergency SNAP. I did see something for, what do you call that? I did see something for Texas. There was quite a few states on here. Okay, so this was from yesterday's video. It says Texas is receiving extra allotment for January. Got mines today. Okay, so again, if you're in Texas, check your cards. Let me see. There were so many, but it's like so many comments, it'd be hard to get back to them. Let me see. I don't see any additional. When is South Carolina getting pandemic EBT? I don't see any more, but just check your cards, you guys. Just check your cards. Currently, let me go back to the list. Currently, right now, for emergency SNAP maximum benefits, the only states that are showing approved as of today, January the 4th, 2022, is Alabama, Georgia, Hawaii, Illinois, Iowa, Kentucky, Maine, Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming, and of course, I said Texas, even though it's not on here. I'm going to do a little bit more research and go through these states individually when I'm done putting this video up, and just see if maybe some of the states have been updated in last month's list, but just maybe haven't updated on this month's list, if that makes any sense. But either way, you guys, that is all the information that I have for you guys today in this video. Do me a favor, definitely don't forget to smash that like button down below, because it really does help to let YouTube know that you like what I'm doing and you're trying to keep your girl around for a little bit longer, okay? In addition to that, as always, I'm going to tell you guys to remember to live, love, and elevate. Stay safe out there, and I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Peace, y'all.